Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. So before we get started, guys, we're still not getting up to 100 plus likes, and we did it before many times. We need to get there. So please help this video get 150 likes, and that would be greatly appreciated. Now, what is happening in the market, and especially what the heck is happening here on Tesla? It's up near 400, and I was talking about 400 just a couple days ago. And look at this stretch right here on Tesla. I mean, this is insane. Market itself, the big names, and Tesla now joining the party. I mean, look at this massive pump on Friday's session, up $20 per share, 5.34%. And that was not enough. Even right after closing, we went up another $5.45, up another 1.40%, sitting at almost 395. Now, that is where I need to talk about when people get extremely bearish on a stock like Tesla and Apple. And I did mention a few times in my video, there were people in my Patreon group where I bought Tesla, under 200, and they were like, "Oh, it's not going up. It's trash. Elon's company is trash, and then Apple is garbage. It's not gonna go up." When you buy shares, you have to hold on. And that is the way to grow your account, especially long-term account. Now, if you buy shares today and you're expecting tomorrow is gonna go up like 100%, I don't know what the heck you're doing in the stock market. But look at this move, guys. I mean, who would have thought just a couple months ago, like 2 months ago before election, where was it? It was right here. It was sitting around 240, 230, 250. And now we might be going up to a brand new all-time high. And yes, you heard me right. We might be going up to a brand new all-time high on Tesla, and that could be even 5 to 600. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not saying it's going to go up tomorrow or the next day or next week straight up to 500. No, that is not what I'm saying. But we all know that breaks out to a brand new all-time high. If it stays over that level, slowly over time, that's going to happen. And that is the idea behind this massive breakout to the upside. I mean, you can see I'm not buying Tesla. I'm not recommending go buy Tesla here. Look at this upper Bollinger Band sitting at 378 and stock itself trading at 395 almost. That is insane. So Tesla, if you invested at the right time under 200 anywhere, you're making money, big money, and you could be making even more, especially if you're a longer term investor on Tesla. Now, going into Monday's session, we can see, this gap up continuing and possibly hitting 400 before pulling back and giving up some of these gains. And I'm sure that it's going to happen. We will see a pullback on Tesla down to at least, you see this consolidation here, this wedge was forming, and then we got the breakout. So we might be coming back, pulling back in, retesting right here. First big level of support to watch, 375. Under that level, we do have support. The 5-day moving average now moved up, sitting at 365. So there will be support at 365. Just under that, we also have support at 362. And then this gap comes into play, 358. So if we get some sort of a pullback here on Tesla early as next week, and you can see it's really overextended. So yes, you can get there, but the dip buyers might be buying that dip right off of this gap or maybe at 365 to 362. So watch out for that unless we get, big, especially gap down on Tesla. In that case, it's going to look really nasty if this thing gets under 345 to 343. Until then, Tesla, I'm not saying buy here, but it's looking extremely bullish for possibly a retest of previous all-time highs, hitting 400, possibly going up to a brand new all-time high, and that can happen very soon once we get a little bit of pullback here on Tesla. So watch out for the support at 375, under that 365, 362, and then this gap 358.10. To the upside, blue skies over 375. This thing can hit 400 easily, and from there it can go even higher. We will talk about that in another video. On Amazon stock, it's up 2.94%. So Amazon is up another almost 3% on Friday and closing at a brand new all-time high, 227. So what is next? Well, just like Tesla, overstretched, overbought, but who cares? It's going straight up, right? You can look at this move. Yes, we kind of got this wedge right here. We got the breakout and then just gap up and go, gap up and go, and going up to a brand new all-time high, getting that stretch to the upside and no signs of any healthy pullback to buy into this stock, even though it's trading at brand new all-time high. So is this actually a good buy zone? No. Well, if you go back from maybe 15 months to 2 years ago, back in 2022, even some part of 2023, beginning of 2023, there are some videos that I actually made, and I talked about how I'm buying Amazon after, before the split, and also after the split. And then the dip we had, this thing came down and it was sitting around 80 to 90 to 100 bucks for like almost a year. That was the dip. Now, yes, I do have Amazon shares long term, and account is doing really well and it's really happy and it's going up, long term account. And that is why, if you're buying these long term, it should be just long term. You shouldn't be looking at it every day. You shouldn't be just thinking about, oh, let's just get out, let's just get out. Look at this. If you invested, $80,000 about 2 years ago, maybe not even two, let's say a year ago, you pretty much got your money doubled here. Can you make that money? Yes, you can make that money, but you got to work like 1 year. Some people got to work 2 years depending on your salary. But look at how much return you can get investing in these big names. Another thing that I want to say here, that you guys been watching my videos for 4+ years now. And the frustration here that I actually trade these big names. I'm not into a lot of penny stocks and a lot of other smaller names. Big names are my thing. These are the stocks that I actually trade on daily basis, day trade, swing trade, and even buy long term. And nowadays, well, there is nothing to buy. It's really hard, especially when market is ripping and the stock like Amazon and Tesla just ripping from all-time highs to even a brand new all-time high. Where are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy here and sell at 230, maybe 236. But look at the risk you're taking buying right up here, way outside the Bollinger Band, nowhere near 5-day moving average, not even closing one gap. You're pretty much buying at all-time high. So that is the worst part about trading right now. But if you look at the long-term account and if you have shares, you'll be like, yeah, I'm happy. Yes, I'm not happy about my day trading, maybe my swing trade. It's not happening. There is no dip, nothing here. You have to chase it. But if you look at the long-term account, you'll be like, okay, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing bad. I'm up over 100%. I'm doing really good. So, that's why you need long-term setups, short-term setups, and when you have both of these, you can make a ton of money in the market, even if you're missing out on something like this in the short term, because you cannot buy this when this thing is ripping to an all-time high pretty much every day. So Amazon, next up, it's getting really overstretched to the upside. I can see 230, but I think early as next week we might get a pullback, especially down to 5-day moving average right here, which is sitting at 218, and it should be moving up. So watch out for that. And then critical support down here at 216, and then this gap comes into play at 214. And then we can talk about possibly more downside, but I don't see that happening next week, coming down to 214 and getting under that level. Now we do have, I think, CPI next week. We'll talk about it before that happens. And right now, it's just on a monster run to the upside. So Amazon, if you're thinking about buying here, let's just cancel that idea, because it's not a good spot to be in right here on Amazon, especially at a brand new all-time high. And this thing already hitting like how many all-time highs? Quite a few. So this is a no-no. You have to wait for that pullback on Amazon. And whenever that happens, and that is when, if that happens, that is when you can get in and maybe day trade, possibly a swing trade, but long term, again, there is no setups here on this stock right here, especially near $230. On Google stock, it's up 1.25%. So Google, just few days ago, it was down here. Unfortunately, I did not actually have. It was actually meant for a day trade, but I went out like 2 weeks out on calls. I sold early, but this thing now ripping because I didn't have enough time. Also, I said it in my video that you can see it's sitting at a lower Bollinger Band. You can get a big bounce off of that level, and now it's trading over 176, and that means what? We could be retesting 185 again on Google stock, and this is another stock that can actually come back up and possibly will hit brand new all-time highs as long as it can stay over 176. If that gives up, we do have support around 173 and then 170, and underneath that level, it's not gonna look too bullish. You're going to see a drop down to 165. And like I said, guys, I mean this market is insane. Yes, it's bullish. I'm not denying, but look at how many gap up and go here on even Google stock, and not even looking at these gaps like, yeah, if there is a downtrend, we might get a chance for a cheaper entry, but it's not happening. It's just going straight up. But this thing is still way down from other big names like Amazon, Tesla. If you look at Apple and Microsoft, Google is still at a good spot at this level. As long as it's over 176, I think there is a chance we might come up and retest 184 to 185 on Google. On Meta, it's up 2.44%. So we talked about it in my video before we had that massive run to the upside. That look at this trend line right here. If Meta can take this out, then watch out. There might be a massive run and possibly a brand new all-time high. Well, we got there almost 630 on Friday, pulling back in, still up 15 bucks on the day and trading at 623. So Meta here did not even retest this breakout here, so, this thing is also getting really overstretched to the upside, but it went up on high volume. And just like every other stock in the market, especially mega caps, I'm talking about big names, everything breaking out to the upside. And last few things that were actually behind was Tesla and Apple. And now, I mean, Tesla is ripping every day. So Meta here, also another name. I mean, after this consolidation here, now massive breakout. If we get some sort of a pullback, there will be support at 610 going into next week. Underneath that level, we might be pulling back for this retest of this breakout. That's going to be around 598 to 600 right here. If not, this is going to be a fake breakout to the upside. Pulling back in does not hold 600 to 598. In that case, we might drop all the way back down to 580 on Meta. On AMD, it's down near 2%. So if you look at the market, big names, AMD is definitely not a mega cap, but you can see it's not doing well. Where we're seeing, even Nvidia pretty much going up to previous all-time highs. I think it was 145, 146, now pulling back on Friday. But AMD forming this bear flag and not really doing the job. Now it's holding 138. That's going to be a support level to watch. But your key line in the sand here, 133, this trend line, if that gives up, it's all over for AMD. This thing will take a big dump off down to 125, 122, 118, maybe even 110. To the upside, it needs to get over 140, 20-day moving average. Over that level, there is a chance for possibly a higher move up to 148. And then we can talk about more upside on AMD. On Microsoft, it's absolutely flat on Friday, but talking about big move to the upside, I mean, look at this thing. We were talking about filling this gap at 432. Not only we did close this gap at 432, we gapped up from the big gap here. Now leaving a gap open at 432 from this gap up. And not to mention there was a gap, and I was talking about 443 gap getting possibly filled, overstretching upper Bollinger Band and taking the Bollinger Band with the price and now sitting at 443. So that is just insane how things are moving, guys. I mean, in my 20 plus years, I have not seen this kind of market. I'm used to market going up and then there is a pullback, chances for all of us to buy the dip, and then the market rips higher. But in this market, you will get a dip. Once in a while there will be like a $10 drop on some stocks, big names, even on Qs and maybe even on the SPY ETF. And the next day you would think that, oh, we got a big bearish engulfing candle, might be a little bit more downside. I'm gonna buy next day or the next day, and then what will get next day? Well, that is the gap up and go. So I mean, it's really, really bad situation where yes, market is bullish, it's going higher, but it's not really healthy. It's just insane the way things are going. gapping up, and then in top of the gap it's gapping up again, and pretty much just going green and green every day. So if you're chasing, you're good at chasing, yeah, you're making money, no doubt. But is that actually a good idea? I don't think so. If you miss the move and then you're trying to buy at the top and sell even higher, that is really a bad entry. You're just chasing, and you're just lucky that it just worked out. So that is, a lot of people that are actually doing that, and people like us just waiting on big cash with sitting on the sideline or not even buying anything and looking at it like, what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? Even somebody like Warren Buffett holding cash and looking on the sideline like, I'm not buying this crap. I'm gonna wait, and there must be something that's coming that we don't know, and that can take place like COVID actually took place back when Trump was president, and we might get something like that. Maybe not a pandemic, but he's getting set up for something. And because when you look at the stretch in the market, why? What is so bullish about this market just going straight up? Yes, market needs to go higher. Over time, market only goes higher. We don't stay in a bear market for too long. Market typically runs higher. But then look at the S&P 500 return. It was 10%. Now we're getting like what, 30% in 1 year. That is just ridiculous. Yes, your 401k is doing well, and I'm happy about that. It's good. It's good. But you're not making money buying those big dips where we get 2 3 times a year. There's like 10%, some cases 15% correction, and if there is 20, well, that is great, right? We're not getting those now. Santa is not even in the town, and we're getting a massive rally. We also got the Thanksgiving rally. Just before Thanksgiving we had a tiny mini dip, and they just smashed it, and now we're going back up. So not to mention we still got Santa rally to deal with, and there is no dips to buy. So I mean, it's just really bad. If you look at from the buying point, yes, you can go and chase here and buy 450 calls, nobody's stopping you. But just ask yourself like how much risk you're taking. If there is something where to play out, where we get a big drop, or something happens, it drops like $10 because it was going up crazy in last 5 days. Is it worth it? I don't think so. So Microsoft now 443 support, and the next level will be 451 to 460 pullback. Watch out for the support right here at 439, 437 5-day moving average, and then we have this gap at 432, which can act as a support on Microsoft. On Apple stock, it's going absolutely flat on Friday, even though we got a brand new all-time high again, almost 245, pulling back and not doing much on Friday, holding over 5-day moving average 242. So now there is support at 242. Only if that gives up, we might see a retest of this breakout, which is at 237, and then we have this gap down here at 233 as a support. Now, if this thing just consolidate right here and continues to stay higher, in that case 250 might be the next stop on Apple stock. But before that, we need to clear 244.63 on Apple. On Netflix is up 1.84%. So here's another one, guys, hitting a brand new all-time high on Friday, 935. And we were talking about this, 930 plus on Netflix. And now it's got delivered on Friday. And now there might be more upside. If you look at my screen, Upper Bollinger Band sitting at 948. So if I say 950, well, if it wants to, it can go there. So Netflix, if it wants to go there, we might be going over 935, and if that happens, it's due for 950, maybe even $1,000. Now, is it getting overbought, overstretched? Absolutely, really overstretched to the upside. If there is a pullback, we need to watch $912.72 as a support as of right now, rising 5-day moving average. Underneath that level, there will be support around 902 to 900, and only if that gives up, then we can talk about 893 to even 869 20-day moving average. Until then, this thing can move up even higher, and 950 is possible, especially if we get over 935 on Netflix. On Nvidia, stock was down Friday 1.81%. So Nvidia and the same eyes were down with AMD. And you can see it got up to 144. It stayed there for a day and then pulled back. And now it's actually at 142. So there will be support at 140 and underneath that level 136. But if this is actually real and this thing wants to move higher, which actually it did, we got over 144. If that happens, it's due for 150 and possibly even brand new all-time high again on Nvidia stock. So just because we're pulling back in just a tiny bit, it's nowhere near AMD, where AMD looks really bad. In this case, this one can get over 144 again, and if that happens, it's gonna go back up to 150 plus, and we might be due for all-time high again on Nvidia stock, unless this thing cannot break 144. In that case, watch out for the support at 140, and then key level of support at 136, and then 130. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated on Monday.